Resident of Collinwood for YouTube. Jules Sage, joined by Patrick McCray.
It sounds like someone's playing with the speed dial for you or something like that. You're kind of speeding up and slowing down.
Gordon Dymowski.
Jewel, have you been doing whippets before the show?
I was doing something before this show. I don't know what it was.
The cop team Popper and Whippets.
We're here to discuss Dark Shadows episode 1142.
I'm here to eat tater tots,
which was chosen by my buddy Patrick McCray here. And I gotta tell you, narrated by David Selby, written by Sam Hall, and directed by Leila Swift. I really, really love the mask of Judah Zachary and how they use it in this episode most of all. It's probably my favorite. It's the most, to me, it's the best way they use the mask. I mean, they've used the mask before in this arc, but this one stands out the most. What did you guys think of it?
I thought it was masky. I really liked it. I mean, the thing that makes the mask work is James Storm's voice.
Yeah.
Because you suddenly realize he's more than just a pretty face. He's a fantastic actor. Wow. And growing up, spending all that time in England and so on, you can really hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Gordon?
Yeah, I think it's the mask itself looks pretty interesting. I think the production team bought it along with their first real six string over at the 5 and Dime, and they played both to their fingers bled because it was the summer of '69. But now I think it's not just James Storm's voice, but it looks it just looks weird. It's not like your typical, like, something traditionally a mask like that would be very ornate and would have like nice details. The fact that it's very plain and very blank except for the jewels around it makes it even more effective.
You know what? It's like Michael Myers' mother had an even.
He had a what?
She went to an opera premiere. And that's what, it's sort of plain, but fancy.
I have a question for you guys. I have two questions for you guys about the mask. One, do you guys know where they got it or how they designed it, or no?
I just said they bought it at the over at the 5 and Dime.
Oh, I really think
six string.
It is probably several. Okay. I think probably at this time there was a real revival of interest, or maybe not a revival, maybe just a vival of interest in Latin American indigenous culture, and the Incas and the Aztecs and so on. You can see that in how they remade Tony Nelson's Home for the last season of I Dream of Jeannie, which suddenly had this very, Adobe kind of look. And so I think probably they found because that mask looks like it should be hanging on the wall of a Mexican restaurant. If you take, a lot of the stuff off of it, it looks like, one of those fake sort of Aztec masks. And so you take that and you put some jewels on it and like some, engorgement or something hanging down, that weird beard. Not named Valerie French. And it was and that's where you got it. I think.
Here's my next question. Would I be wrong if I gave Dark Shadows the credit for inspiring the mass killer genre?
Yes.
No.
No.
Yes, you would be wrong.
Oh, he would be wrong. Okay.
Yeah. You would be wrong, Joel.
Okay.
Dark Shadows didn't inspire everything.
I don't see. Here's the thing: when you watch this episode, and I'm not saying it inspired Halloween or anything, but you gotta admit the way they use the mask is very serial killer-esque, very mass killer-esque as well. And I mean, I know they're using it to set up Quentin for murder, and they want to set him up to charge him for witchcraft. I get all that. But I don't know. When you think about what happens in the 70s, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is made after this movie, and they use the killer wears a mask. Now, it's a skin mask, and it's not a mask made of gold, but a lot of masks.
I think Ed Gein had a lot more influence over the serial killer genre than Dark Shadows, but that's just me.
Well, you never
know. What sort of flute does the skin mask player play? So, you're moving on.
Okay, yeah, moving on. I'm just having some fun, and I thought it would be a fun question.
That's what you said when we found you in that hotel room with those dead girls. I'm just having some fun, guys. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be Bob Crane here, folks.
Oh my god! So, with this episode, we get Lamar Trask as well. Jerry Lacey. He's always a gem in these episodes, and I love the interaction between him and David Selby. How you can really tell that, Lamar Trask really did care for Samantha's sister, and it's her funeral, it's her wake, or it's her funeral. And he's like, oh, I loved Roxanne. And he's out to get Barnabas with a vengeance here in this episode. He's pretty much accusing him of causing her wounds to reopen somehow. He's hinting at witchcraft being performed in the household, and Quentin just finds you're crazy, like, get out of here. And Lamar Trask is somebody who thinks you're just, if you want to align yourself with the devil, go ahead.
You heard it here first. Jewel gave you permission. I came in on the end of that.
And what I love most about this episode, one of my favorite scenes, is the interaction between Lamar Trask and the very, very, very much turned completely heel now of Gerard Stiles, who is Judah Zachary. James Storm owns this episode 1,000%. What did you guys think?
Who's the girl who shows up?
Some prostitute.
It's Lorna Bell.
And Lorna Bell. Now, did Lorna really go to school or something with Roxanne? Or did she just read the obituaries and cruise the funerals like it's an airport Hyatt?
Lamar.
Yeah, she probably.
Yeah, sorry.
I was about to say, I think she's probably like she's looking for the Irish wakes so that she can get drunk, and she's looking for the Polish wakes so that she can, kind of get some free food.
Oh yeah, I thought she was just looking to see if the John was awake. Continue.
Lamar Trask gives the suggestion that she knew Roxanne, but he also gives the suggestion that the girl is not very welcomed in certain circles. She does very questionable acts. He's basically saying she's a prostitute. And without saying the word.
I don't know where you get that.
Yeah.
Those back pages gone.
Because Lamar Trask does not strike me as being wise to the ways of the opposite sex, if you know what I mean.
You think he's a little more decay than Shatner?
I'm saying he's a virgin. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Well, he may be a virgin, but he may be a virgin, but he also senses he's the type of person who tries to assume things about other people. Look what he's assuming about Quentin and Barnabas. Now, I don't think he's assuming anything about this girl here, but even Quentin, the way all women flirt with Quentin, all generations of Quentin, all timelines of Quentin. Quentin has had more women than James Bond at this point, no matter which Quentin you slice it.
I would not go there. At least not in canon. If you look at the actual episodes, I don't think he's had more women than James Bond. Now, if you count your fan fiction, I'm not going to stop you.
Oh man, she's flirting with him, but he flirts back. I love how she's like, "Hey, we'll meet up later to wake," and he's like, "What are you talking about?" Like he has no idea what she's even saying. She does not.
Quentin is awfully flirtatious for being at that funeral.
Yeah, that's the thing.
See, that's the thing. Like Quentin Collins can flirt at a funeral and get away with it.
Just by walking in the room. I try to do it,
and I get my face slapped.
What did you guys think of the funeral sequence here in this episode?
It was terrific.
Yeah, Gordon.
I thought it went really well. The only way you could have improved it is like have a little hand puppet come out of the casket and start dancing around.
They're gonna by they I mean Gerard Stiles and Charles Dawson are gonna set Quentin up here. They do a very, very good job. Lamar Trask says he heard them plan to leave together and he saw them leave together. Well,
ruined that Irish goodbye.
It's like, really, two people leaving at the same time doesn't mean they necessarily left together.
But what you're missing is a key detail, which is that Gerard was telling Lorna Bell, "Oh yeah, they're getting together later. Don't tell Trask."
Yeah, I was getting that. Yeah, I was getting there.
Okay.
I promise. Like you said, like he said, "Oh, they're getting together. Don't tell Trask," but it's like Trask keeps coming in and out of the room too. Like he'll go out of the room, then he'll come back in.
And he's bringing canopies and things like that.
Yeah,
because they don't have indoor plumbing.
It's like, really, and what you see later on is when Charles Dawson shows him troop, she's immediately creeped out by this room. She get like, wait, this does not look like the room for a wake. And no, it doesn't. It looks like a room where you kill somebody, and that's what it's there for, to kill her. Charles Dawson leaves the room, locks her in, and then he comes back, and surprise, surprise, the mask of Judah Zachary, worn by Judah Zachary pretty much, and he kills this girl with a knife, and they leave the mark of the devil on her forehead, and it's the same.
The juice had gone out of the stew
that Quentin wears on his finger. What did you guys think of this? The way they set this up to set Quentin up, and what do you guys think of the ring Quentin wears?
It looks comfortable. It looks easy to wear if you're, reaching for your keys a lot. You're not going to tear anything. It's a bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
But it's nothing to sneeze at. I gotta say, I love the show, but you ask strategically the questions that will make me say, I don't think it's the prop department working overtime. It looks like, they just sort of got a coat hanger and twisted it around, and there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping where Quentin's power battery was, because I know that ring only has a charge for over 24 hours, and anything yellow it doesn't work on. So,
I see that ring and I think Mayberry IUD. Anyway.
What did you guys think of the way they set Quentin up here?
Pretty effective considering what happens to him.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to charge him with a lot of stuff: murder, witchcraft. In fact, I think he gets clear. Really, pretty much, he gets cleared of the one charge, and then they charge witchcraft with him, which is really.
They had 3 key pieces of evidence. Do you remember what they were? Those fingers in his hair, that sly come hither stare, that stripped their conscience bare. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's witchcraft.
They also had the note. They had the note from Joanna Mills. or so they say. But which Joanna shows up in court, which is really, really interesting. One of the coolest scenes.
Yeah, but the important question is she wearing pants of Lycra?
I'm glad those lyrics have clung.
Oh my God. Of course she is. Of course she is. Who wouldn't wear them? Anyway.
You heard it here
I
first.
am not touching that one, but
maybe I'm wearing those pants. Who knows? Look,
Jewel, I really hope you are wearing pants. Seriously.
You're living in a fool's paradise, Gordon. We went down that road somewhere, around Brutus's appearance.
Yeah, this is a pantless podcast.
You
Anyway.
didn't say that during autofocus.
Did I have to say it during autofocus?
You mean we're just supposed to assume?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
That's Joel, I think there was a scene in there Gordon and I may have to explain to you after the podcast is over. Maybe I should put this down.
Oh my God. What's you guys' favorite?
So Patrick, what you're telling me is that I should not be watching any of Jewel's home movies, correct?
Clips for sale. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, no.
What's you guys' favorite scene in this episode, Gordon?
My favorite scene.
It had Star 9 in it. No, who?
I think the kind of the introduction where Dawson comes in with the head and you can Styles is talking about how his enemies are, after he puts on the mask, he's talking about he's living with his enemies, where you can see Storm's performance with Styles is he's kind of a sneak, he's kind of a con man, because he's really Ivan Miller pretending to be Gerard Styles. And so you've got that kind of weird sense of not quite his identity. Once he becomes Judah Zachary, it clicks in. Yeah. I love that scene.
That's really good. Yeah, I like that scene. I like, Dawson saying, now listen, you're in human form right now. And just how smarmy he is, in response. And Storm's playing a Bond villain. Yeah. It's sort of like, hey, Thayer, you thought you were playing a Bond villain as Patofi? Really? Hold my 7 and 7, which is what they said in autofocus.
Yeah. I love. There's two scenes I love. I love the scene where Gerard Styles as Judah Zachary ask how many of my followers are left, and they talk about the followers, the cult of Judah Zachary, if you will, in this episode a bit, which is cool. And obviously, my favorite scene in this whole episode, it is just the fact of the scene where Quentin and Lamar, it just in the drawing room where you
do that thing.
I feel sorry for until Lamar starts being like a good old Trask. I really felt sorry for Lamar Trask at that point. It's like, dude, you're gonna jump to witchcraft, really?
Tony Peterson just has, centuries of horrible ancestors to live down.
Yeah, no wonder he became a lawyer / private investigator. It's like all these religious types, and the one Undertaker, he's like, oh no, get that, no, I just want to stay low. I just want to be.
Kept hiring him to follow himself.
Can you imagine if if they would have introduced Tony Peterson a lot sooner, had Jerry Lacey a lot sooner, and Burke Devlin would have been the one hiring Tony Peterson? That'd have been.
It would have been great. They would have made a hell of a team.
Yeah, they would have.
They would have had their own buddy cop spinoff.
Burke and Tony, yeah.
Absolutely. Is there anything you guys want to add about this episode?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, again, this is like exhibit A through, CC, senor, for why this is such a marvelous stretch of Dark Shadows, and
Yeah,
I hope people watch it.
Yeah, it just goes along at a pretty good clip.
Yeah. So for Saturday, guys, episode 1199. How's that?
Isn't that? I believe that's when 1841 Parallel Time gets introduced.
That's right, it does.
Daybook.
That's right. Is 9:45 okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I'll see you guys then. Patrick, I'll see you tomorrow night for Silent Hill, buddy.
Indeed.
links to Gordon Dymowski's Amazon page is going to be in the description box. Links to the Dark Shadows Daybook about is going to be in the description box. Go pick it up if you haven't already. Guys, I'll see you.